Hey everyone, we're back to look at this abandoned cabin in the woods now that it's the middle of summer. We were here back in May during a snowstorm, checking it out. Look how high this is, this grass. Gonna have to definitely check for ticks after this. You can tell animals go through here, so this is making it a little easier following their trail. Okay, there's the building. A lot of mistakes were made. It wasn't built here. They must have moved this place and they did it wrong. They went bankrupt, so now it's sitting here in the forest rotting. This is a new foundation, and look at it. Look how it's leaning. That means they didn't even put it in correctly. The foundation is actually built too big. You see how it has this big lip going around the entire edge? They didn't take measurements well enough, and when they moved the house here from somewhere else, didn't fit the foundation right. You see those holes there? I actually didn't notice that the first time. I thought those were going to be basement windows. People in the comments actually told me that's where they put the beams through, which made sense. They brought it here on a giant truck. There used to be a big front porch, but it completely collapsed, probably during the winter. That's the kitchen there. We'll show inside after. Gotta be careful because there could be some nails. But look at the shingles on this roof. Those don't look half that bad. So the building, other than the water dribbling down the front, the back portion of this is going to be here a while. See, it had a front porch, nice railing, solid wall railing, but completely fell in because it wasn't stabilized yet, as nothing was hooked up. The utilities were just in the beginning stages of being hooked up. Wow, it's so dark in here. In the winter, you could really see because the snow was lighting it up. They didn't even pour the floor yet. You can see the rebar all set up. You can see the stuff cracking everywhere. That would have been the vapor barrier. And now you see here on the walls, I like this two-tone a lot. The bottom, see how it's all rough? They probably would have left this like this. And the top here, they probably would have painted. A lot of big stores do that. Look at this whole wall, how it's getting pushed outwards. Wow. Because when you look at the strain of the building, see how it's pushing down on this one lolly column? This angle is kind of pushing against the walls as it's pushing down here. Something else here. I noticed this on the first time coming in. Why does this building have a breaker box this big? And why is it three-phase? Look at that. Even have to use effort to push that. I know some countries all use three-phase, but here we don't use that in a residential building. I think they took this from a old factory or something to reuse it. And they probably wouldn't even have used the third breaker. See, the plumbing wasn't put in yet. Like, what would that have been? See how it's just coming up? Doesn't make any sense. The plumbing here could indicate this could have been for a toilet, like a basement bathroom. You got back here, that's actually connected to the toilet upstairs. And you see, that's cast iron. That must have been transported with the building. I love these old industrial-like fluorescent fixtures in the place. Look at this. That is one gigantic door. Yeah, so these probably would have been beams when they were driving it down the street on a giant truck. But the person obviously went bankrupt and they couldn't afford to do this anymore. Or maybe their mistakes with the place, maybe that's what made them just give up on it. Got a big record player right here. What are all these signs? Yeah, they're picket signs. If they would have stuck them in the ground. Wonder why all those are in here. This place doesn't have the older kind of electrical. This stuff here isn't too bad. I see that in a lot of buildings. At least it's not bare wires on insulators. That stuff, you gotta replace that when you find it. It's not safe. Look at all these cinder blocks here. Oh, I'm trying to get out. Oh, look, there's a barbell, some weights. This place is actually bigger than it looks once we get inside. That could have actually been living space up top. Oh, look, the roofer wasn't too smart either. Look how far the shingles are coming off over the side. Remember how I pointed out how new they look? The wind is catching those and ripping them off. That's why I found some on the ground. Now this part of the building, you see this wall is about to fall over, and that'll make the whole building collapse. The back part there is not crooked. They just built the foundation. Looks to be 4 or 6 inches too big. No, actually it's probably 8 inches too big, because you want the building to overhang the foundation slightly. So when there's a wind-driven rain, it doesn't go inside. And you see this? This should be sitting slightly over this. Of course, there's some vandalism. Somebody came here. Looks like back here, they did put some waterproofing on at one point. That's what this black is. But they did a horrible job and it all fell off. Ooh, it's slippery, this hill. See the shingles all over the ground? They put the roof on like garbage. Because you see, these shingles are not that old. They should not be flaking off. They weren't installed correctly. And look at this garbage here. The sides of the building have real wood, but this is press board. It's falling apart, especially on the bottom, because this is where all the water's ending up since the foundation's too big. This is a bedroom, that's the bathroom. We're gonna head inside. It's pretty easy to get up there. Look at all that rot there. You see, this is what happens with press board and stuff. That's why I always tell people, if they have the extra money and they're building a brand new house, use farm boards underneath the siding instead of, they usually use plywood now, but I've seen some cheap contractors use particle board. Particle board, if it gets wet for whatever reason, the wind gets it underneath that siding, it's going to expand and it's not going to go back to its normal shape. It's going to collapse like a big pile of mush inside the wall, which is just stupid. Always use plywood for that kind of stuff, especially on a roof. If you have the money to do it, use farm boards on the roof. That stuff is probably the best. Okay, you see how I'm getting up on these bricks? Move out of my way, spider. Oh, come on, do not want to get bit by that. Oh, now I have to rip its web down. Oh, climb up inside. Here we are. The kitchen has an old linoleum floor, a nice stove. Now you got to think about this. See how crooked the building is? I am not worried about my weight. I do not weigh tens of thousands of pounds like the snow that was sitting on this a few months ago. So for that reason, I'm not worried. Take a look at this. This may not even have been vandalism. The building just shifted and it shattered the window there. All right. So looks like the refrigerator would have been up here. It's an older refrigerator. It's not old enough to have the rounded front like the collectible ones, but still. Someone stole the copper wires on that, or the copper coils. This kitchen, I like this kind of kitchen. It's simple. There's no elaborate cabinets. There's just what you need. Love this old stove. Nice. And look at the water damage here. That's because, see the space? This is where the chimney used to be. But they didn't bring the chimney when they moved the building. And they didn't seal the hole up there good enough because they're probably going to put the chimney back. But construction stopped, so that's what will compromise the building. Their living room would have been really nice. Take a look at this. The pine walls stained, or that's actually polyurethane. The only reason I know that is because polyurethane acts like this. See how it flakes off when it's exposed to water or sunlight? See, this is all related to that chimney leaking. No other part of the building has water damage because the roof is still pretty nice. Yep, it was forced air. Forgot to look at that in the basement, but you could tell the furnace would have been under the kitchen because it had the heat detector on the ceiling, which is an emergency shut-off if it starts overheating or it thinks there might be a fire. Take a look at this. See that there? Okay, last time I was in here, somebody mentioned to me, because I tried to shut this door. There's obviously no way I can do it because the weight of the building is put on this door. They were saying, "Are you crazy for trying to move this? You're going to knock the whole building down on yourself." Anyone who actually believes that these 3 little hinges is holding this place, no, there's only 2 hinges. No, that's not holding this place. It's just stuck enough where I can't move it. There's no way that's holding all that. Look at this. I got the fake pocket doors. They're not actually inside the door. They're inside the wall. They're on this track. Those are still pretty nice. Lots of older items in here. Oh, this is creepy. These doors weren't shut last time I was in here. Hope no one's in here. Or no. We're good. Never seen walls like this. Look, it's like pressboard with just wallpaper over it. I guess that's a good cheap way of doing it, because when it was done, I bet it looked nice. It's got to be better than sheetrock. You don't see mold in here. If this was a sheetrocked house, there'd be mold everywhere. All the ceilings in here, they look like this because you can see they ripped it down. Obviously, you don't see it on the floor anywhere. Well, you can see a few pieces of it. It was paneling that was pressboard, so it kind of fell apart. Oh, look at that. Looks like big bear claws, right? Oh, that was someone stealing the copper piping, I guess. They got a toolbox in here. Cast iron bathtub. Not too old. It's not as thick as some of the ones you'd see. But look at this. All over the floor. See all that? That's the pressboard ceiling that fell down from the humidity. The humidity turned it to like muck. Oh, you can still see parts of it. But see the parts that got wet, it just turns to just junk. That's all it is. I do really like the green tile in this house, though. Very nice. Still got toilet paper. No one stole it last year. Here's a shower pan. That probably would have been for the basement bathroom. Actually, it's outside somewhere, the shower walls, because I remember slipping on it during the winter. There's a crib in here. Some nice vintage tables, which are in perfect condition. Some nice old chairs I see back there. I don't know where the drawers are for this. Oh, those are the drawers stacked there. So whoever was moving, they just threw it in this room. They didn't touch it. Look at, they got a hutch built into the wall. There's no insulation in the place, it appears, but there is that's a radiant barrier, that foil you see. Got a big checkerboard. Some pretty cool pictures of the desert in this house in the middle of the woods. All right. Here's a metric converter. Inches, centimeters, feet, yards. I'm pretty good with the feet to yards and meters. Not so much the centimeter scale. There's nothing in these. There's just, I think those used to be records. They're not in the boxes anymore. Let's head upstairs. Last time I was here, this place was so bright from the illumination of snow. Sadly, not today. So this is where the chimney would have gone up through the building, this hole. The furnace would have been directly below it, and that's leaking water there. See where they tried to seal it? Look at the wall here. See how it's all deformed back and forth like something you'd see in a Dr. Seuss book. Hitting up. Looking around, no bears. See a lot of electrical plates and covers. Here's a bunch of pellets. It looks like owls sleep up here. Owl pellets. All kinds of stuff up here. They have a floor for storage, but look how big this is. I'm just over 6 feet, and I can't quite stand, but if you finish this, this could be a nice loft area for extra bedrooms. Oh boy, is it hot up here. This guy collected all kinds of cool stuff. Just want to see what's up here. Look at this, an old stereo speakers. They're kind of useless though. Looks like animals have destroyed the paper on them. See a bunch of vintage tools, stuff along those lines. Bunch of jars full of nuts and bolts. Got some children things. I used to have that toy when I was little. It was a bigger board though. Look at all the poop right there. I'm guessing that's from owls. What is this? Oh, door unit. Is that a... Yep, it's a mirror for a door. These are farm boards like I was talking about. Older houses have those under the floors, under the roof, everything. Because look, this is farm boards. You see, there's no plywood. So if it got wet, it could put up with leaking for a while. That's why older houses don't have mold problems like newer ones. All kinds of electrical stuff. I love that kind of stuff. This is nice. This would have been a nice house. Good older boxes. You don't see the white ones too much anymore. Unless you're digging. They're all blue now if you buy them new. Ew, there's poop in there. Look at this. Old cookie jars. Clipboard. So I wonder if this stuff was up here because they were going to put this into the house. But I don't think so. So these are the recessed lights. See, the ceiling would have been up right on that. Newer ones don't look anything like that. I actually did a job. Did like $6,000 worth of installing those. They look way different. Oh, look at this. Is that a... Yep, look at this vintage space heater. That is so cool. Wow. Would love to see if I can get that thing working. Better get out of the owl's house so they don't get home all angry. Oh, this is adorable, that little tiny water heater. I don't know how big that is, but I'm guessing it's small enough so you can run it on 20 amps. That's what I'm thinking. What is this? What is this thing? Thought that was a toolbox when I was coming up. But now that I'm seeing knockouts on it, what is that? I think that's part of a welder. And I think the guy who lived here was an electrician. An electrician a really long time ago. I bet the guy's tools were up here. Thieves were probably up here stealing this guy's tools. You see, there's still a bunch of cool light fixtures like this. Those are all pieces of light fixtures, but there's no tools. I bet all that stuff was stolen. This guy definitely had some type of an electrical job, but by the fixtures, this stuff is a good 30, 40 years old. Alright, going back down. Oh man, it's so hot in this attic. Right now, outside, it's 94. Up there, it's got to be around 130, I'd say. Not suitable to be in there too long. Here's another heater. That one's missing the cord. Got a couch. The couch has mold on it, but not the walls. I just wanted to see what the place looked like in the summer. That's all. Just leave it the place the way I found it. Gonna shut this door behind me when I leave. Whew, man, it's hot in here now. Really hot. Look at this light fixture. Older ones have such characteristics to them. Got a bunch of beehives too. What do we got in here? You never know. There could be raccoons in any hole when you're in a place like this. That's a shame. That's a really nice table. A little coffee table. This place is way too far to fix. Like, I mean, the bones of the building could be fixed if somebody really wanted to. And especially in today's economy, where lumber, it was at about 350%. It's actually dropping again, because there was a point you walk into the store, amazingly, a pressure-treated 2x4, it was like 12 bucks. Typically, I'd say maybe $4 or $5 on a normal year. It actually did drop back in the past few months. But this place, like I said, there's no crap like particle board. I think this place could be lifted up. This main beam needs to be replaced. It's rotted out. But a lot of the back of the house could be saved. But then you're getting into the issue. The foundation doesn't even fit the place. It needs all new walls. It needs new insulation. Like, you'd have to gut it down. You definitely save money in today's economy on fixing the... Like, structurally, everything seems to be all right, except for that beam in the front. But it's sitting on a unstable foundation, which is crooked. And I'm pretty sure the foundation is on a marsh. It looks like this basement floods a lot, and it's not equipped with a perimeter drain. So there's all kinds of problems. This place needs to be pretty much demolished. Yep, that's the truth. But sadly, one thing I really hate that a lot of contractors do, they'll come into this place and they'll just put a wrecking ball to the place, put everything in the dumpster, absolutely everything. Now, when I get into an abandoned building to start fixing it, this place is too far for what I do, because I don't do I'm pretty much just electrical, and I'll do other cosmetic things, but nothing like this. Because I can do the electrical of the entire place, that's no problem. I can do anything residentially, most things commercially, but when I go into a place, stuff like this stove, I don't like seeing this stuff end up in a dumpster. I will put absolutely every item that I think is worth anything on the side of the road. Let people pick through it for free. And then whatever's there a week later, then I'll throw it in a dumpster and get rid of it. Unless it's metal, that'll go to the transfer station. There we go. Sorry, buddy. Gonna have to rebuild your web tonight. Yeah, you can tell. Look how these boards are rotted. This often is filled with water. And you can see how the ground is pushed far away for the construction. They would have pushed this back so it would be a regular basement in the ground. But just because you put this back does not mean that groundwater is going to go away. That's always going to be an issue. And you see, they did a horrible job sealing it. They, like, tried to stretch a can of that sealant. You're supposed to put that stuff on thick. Yeah. Why do you think there's so much moss here? This place floods. This whole basement floods. That's why this lolly column in the front sunk into the ground. It's too soft. This place is not savable. There's no perimeter drain, which it wouldn't have been. It would have been really easy to add, but it's just stupidity. That's all it is. This place, the way it's built, you would not put a sump pump. You would put a perimeter drain, but you'd have it just flowing off the hill through a pipe under the ground. But that's it. Let's try to get a shot from a little farther away. I doubt we'll be able to do that because the trees are too overgrown. And I'm treading carefully because you don't know what could be on the ground, such as nails. Look at the shingles. These are newer shingles. See how they're scattered everywhere? Although there was no leaks in that attic that I could see, except for that chimney. Here's more stuff. Those look like hooks for a store shelf. There's some hole right there. Oh, you see all this is coming out of the ground? That there may be a perimeter drain that you don't see from the surface, but you know what I mean? Like, this could be going around the foundation, you see, to collect water on the outside. Here's the thing. Most companies only warranty outside perimeter drains like 10 years. Most companies will give you a lifetime warranty if it's on the inside. Now that roof is pretty good, except for that chimney. Not that bad. This place floods. All right, we're done with this for today. You can see this was a dumping area for people's tires, furniture, and garbage back when the driveway wasn't grown in. This kind of, it's rusted to junk, but I spoke a little bit too soon. But still, in a swamp, only getting one on myself, that's pretty good. Hope this video was interesting. Thanks for watching.